Hey everyone, let's talk about the Sculpture Center. It is a very popular and much awaited opening of this center, so let's go take a look. The Sculpture Center is in the back of the classroom, in this corner by the window. When you are using the center, it's a good idea to sit at this L-shaped table so that you are near the supplies that you're going to need and it's easier for cleanup time. When you are making a sculpture, you will want to look over on our different ways of attaching cardboard or paper together to make a sculpture. You don't have to always use hot glue for everything. I know that is one thing that everybody looks forward to using, but there are a lot of ways of attaching cardboard together that do not require gobs of glue or hot glue. You can create a tab in a piece of cardboard to make something stand up. You can use brass tabs, also known as brads, to make things move or spin. This is a popular choice for making arms and legs or puppets, making things move. You can fold a piece of paper, a piece of cardboard down, and this one does use glue, and make a corner brace that would fit right in here to make a little shelf for something. You can even use notches where you snip, and then slide the two pieces together in order to make a really strong brace. You can cut tubes to make little feet that glue down. You can even curve or curl cardboard as long as you are using the edge or the side that has the bumps going long ways. So there's lots of different ways that you can use cardboard to make your sculptures really cool. You can even use twine. You can use, I think these are pipe cleaners. You can use all kinds of things. You can probably invent even more things that I can think of here. Paper can be used to make sculptures too. If you're not sure how to make a piece of cardboard, make a cone, or if you need to make something have curls, you can use paper to do these things also. So keep that in mind when you're making sculpture. Anything sculptural is three-dimensional usually. That means you can see it from all the way around. It's something that you could look at from every single angle. Right here is where we would store our artwork. Each class has a bin and your artwork gets stored in your class bin. So this is 4th grade Lions. They have art on Tuesday, and this is where they will put their sculpture artwork. They will not put their flat artwork, their two-dimensional paintings in this box. This is for sculpture only. If they have a painting, if you're in a 4th grade Lions class, you're gonna put your paintings on the drying rack, and then you're gonna put them in your cubby if it's a drawing. Your cubbies are right over along this wall in the bottom, okay? So sculptures stay with the Sculpture Center, and that way we can keep them organized. Your sculptures should fit in the size tester box. If it does not fit in that box, you're gonna have to either take it to your classroom and bring it back to work on next week, or you're gonna have to take it apart. We don't have room in the art room to make gigantic sculptures and store them here. You can make something big if you're going to take it home with you right today, but if you're gonna work on it again next time you come to art, well, it's gonna need to be able to fit in that box. There are all kinds of things you can use in the Sculpture Center. Make sure you're thinking useful, not wasteful, because if you're just taking a bunch of something and then I see it in the recycling bin or the garbage can at the end of class, that is not a good way of using our materials, and I cannot replace everything I have. So make sure you're using things that you need, not just because you think it looks fun or looks cool. Use it for a purpose. So there's drawers of random things in here that you can use to create sculptures, adding details. Maybe you can think of some random use for these random objects that I've collected. Popsicle sticks, plastic caps, all kinds of random things, string, okay? There are some ideas down here. I've got clipboards full of things you can do with cardboard tubes. Maybe you wanna make a marble run. Maybe you wanna make a snowflake. Maybe you wanna make an animal or an airplane or a castle. There's a lot of different ideas. Some of them are more challenging and some of them are pretty easy. Some of them might take a little bit of figuring out, but these are all things that you can do. So there's a bunch of ideas down here at the bottom, along with some other things that you can use. There's foil. Please don't just leave foil like this. Make sure you use whatever you take out. We don't make foil balls either because that's just a big waste. If you want to make something covered with foil, I'll show you a different way of using our foil instead of just balling it up. We can't do that because we don't have a lot of it. There are also little boxes. Here's where you'll find the brass fasteners, also called brads. There's Q-tips, cotton balls. You are welcome to look through here as you're thinking through what you might want to make. And there's also tools. If you are not interested in using hot glue, you can also use our tacky glue. It dries quickly and it always lives upside down. So the nozzle you'll see is at the bottom, and that's where it should always stay. All right, this way we know it will always work. So the words like this is the way you want it to see, and put it back. If you put it back like this, it does not work as well. And the letters are upside down. So make sure you put it back this direction. We also have some cardboard scissors. These are really helpful for cutting cardboard into smaller pieces. You want it to be like this when you're cutting, not like this. This is not going to be easy for your fingers. It's too hard to cut. So make sure it looks like a little shovel when you're cutting. Cutting like that will make it easier. When you're done, the scissors will go back in their little spots. 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of those. But I also have a regular pair of scissors that can live here too. Green tape for the green Sculpture Center tools. All right, so this is some of the things that you'll find here. I also have a little paper clip. If the glue does get stuck, you can stick one of these in the nozzle of the glue, and that will help. Now the glue guns. I will have a few glue sticks out. The glue sticks that I have out for your class, once those are gone, I will not refill them. So if you are wasting glue sticks, if you are writing words or just squeezing out glue, that's it for your class. And so I highly recommend you think of ways of using hot glue that do not require squeezing all the glue out. That is not very helpful, and it wastes our supplies. So glue sticks, hot glue. If you see the light on over here, that means that the hot glue guns have been turned on. It is the job of the people who work at this station to make sure that the station is cleaned up and looks just like this as you leave. There shouldn't be little bits of paper or cardboard. There should be no scissors when you leave this station. When you leave after using hot glue, it should absolutely be completely clean. These hold our cords in place so that they are not getting mixed up with each other, so they don't get tangled. And so every hot glue gun has a spot to be. Now, if you run out of hot glue or a hot glue gun isn't working, the hot glue sticks go right into this little hole here, and that you want to make sure that it goes all the way and meets the next hot glue gun stick, because what will happen is as you squeeze the trigger, the hot glue pulls forward. Now, it's not been on long enough for the hot glue to actually work, but what happens is that in this spot here, there is a heater. The heat will heat up this stick and turn it into glue. So you squeeze and it pulls the glue forward in order to be using it. When you are gluing, I have some gloves that you may use if you are concerned about the heat, but you always want to make sure that you are using these carefully and aware of where your fingers are. Now, I only have one hand available, but if I were gluing something together right now, I would be gluing, if I needed to make, for example, if I wanted to make this piece stand up here for a wall, first thing I would do is I would get rid of this flap because that will make it unsteady, or I would glue from the other side because I want my gluing to be done well. I actually see a little light coming through there. That tells me that this is not an even cut. So I would need to cut this cardboard so that it is ready. But when I glue it together, I will want to put glue here instead of holding it up in the air and trying to glue from here all the way up. That's much more dangerous, and glue can drip on my fingers or on my hand or my arm. So we don't want to put glue up in the air. Whenever you're gluing, make sure you're doing the gluing where it's flat and your fingers are not going to get in the way and the glue will not drip. Okay, we cannot guard at this station. So if somebody is using the hot glue and you would like a turn, you just need to wait your turn. And if you are the person using the hot glue at one of these 4 centers, you need to be aware that other people will want to use it too, and you need to share. There cannot be two people using the same hot glue gun here. This is a one person here, one person here, one person here, one person here. There are 4 hot glue guns, and we need to be able to take turns using them, so you cannot do any cutting in this area. Any painted artwork should never be over here. This is electricity, and so there are dangers when it comes to that. If you have a painted piece of art, you may not use this center here yet. Your paint has to dry first before you can use any hot glue. You also should be aware that the hot glue is going to be hot. If you do get any on your skin, put the hot glue gun down and go over to the sink to put cold water on your hand right away, and then let me know so that we are making sure we are staying safe. Okay, so here are some of our hot glue gun station rules. If the light is on, which it is, the light is on, that means the hot glue is on. It is heating up. Oh, yep, I can see it coming out when I squeeze now. So the hot glue is on. It takes about 5 minutes to start warming up, okay? The hot glue is hot. Be alert of where your fingers are as well as the people around you. I really, really want you to be thinking and planning and cutting your cardboard pieces for sculpture before you use the hot glue gun. It will save a lot of time and waste. Remember, there is no cutting here. This is an area for gluing only. If you need to fix a cut on something, go over to a table and fix it. There is no wet paint here. We already talked about that, because paint, water, wetness, anything with this glue will not stick. If you try to put hot glue on a painting while it's still wet, it will not stick. So don't waste the glue doing that, okay? When you are done gluing something, and it's time to clean up, make sure that this area looks exactly like this, nice and clean. Hot glue guns are propped up. We don't want them laying down on their side. Find your bin and put your art in this bin, and then make sure that anything you've used is put back correctly and neatly. Please do not put little tiny pieces of cardboard back in our cardboard box area. We want this to be just for the big pieces of cardboard that people want to use. People don't want to use the little tiny scraps, so if you have scraps of cardboard, sweep them into a bucket and then take them over to the recycling bin. All right, so I want to see what we can do with hot glue this year. I'm excited to see you work. I am excited to see what kind of creations you can make. So let's go and get started on our next open center.